with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
All right, so get this. Everybody, and I mean literally everybody in the basketball world, is buzzing about this right now. It's a story that's been unfolding, getting more dramatic by the minute, and it finally reached its boiling point.
Has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a...
For what felt like an eternity, we've witnessed Cheryl Swoops launch a relentless, almost bizarre campaign against the WNBA's brightest new star, Caitlin Clark. We're talking about strange, unfounded accusations, like claiming Clark was a 25-year-old playing against teenagers in college, then moving on to assertions that her rookie season wasn't actually good, and perhaps the most baffling of all, suggesting that no one even wants to play alongside her. This constant, unyielding onslaught from Swoops truly seemed like it would go on forever.
Your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummy.
But then, the cavalry arrived. The legendary basketball great and former coach of Caitlin Clark herself, Cheryl Miller, decisively entered the ring. And when she did, she didn't just throw a punch. She delivered an absolute knockout blow on All the Smoke podcast. Not only calling Swoops a huge idiot, but systematically deconstructing every single one of those bogus myths about Clark. Fans everywhere are absolutely giddy with anticipation, watching Miller emphatically put Swoops in her place. More than just a takedown, Miller's passionate, insightful defense of Caitlin Clark is hinting at something truly unexpected and incredibly promising for the Indiana Fever's future. So, are you absolutely prepared to dive deep into this? Let's go.
Two-time Player of the Year, two-time National Championship, two-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Now, before we meticulously dissect every single powerful word that Miller uttered, have you ever paused to truly wonder why one of basketball's most revered legends, Cheryl Swoops, seemed so oddly, so relentlessly committed to trying to tear down the WNBA's shining new star? It's a question that begs for answers. So let's take a comprehensive look back at the truly strange and persistent campaign Cheryl Swoops has waged against Caitlin Clark, tracing its origins right from Clark's groundbreaking college days, all the way through her phenomenal rookie season in the pros.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all started, believe it or not, with Swoops making claims about Clark's college career that were not just false but wildly and demonstrably untrue. In perhaps what stands out as her most outrageously baffling statement, Swoops actually had the audacity to claim that Clark was a 25-year-old playing against significantly younger 20-year-olds during her incredibly dominant tenure at Iowa. But here's the cold, hard reality check. Clark was only 22 years old and simply playing in her fourth year, just like countless other college seniors across the country. When she was finally confronted head-on about this blatant falsehood, Swoops attempted a feeble backpedal, lamely claiming it was just hyperbole related to the unusual COVID eligibility rules. Let me tell you, that was a weak, transparent defense that absolutely did not hold up under even the slightest scrutiny.
Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team.
Swoops was only just warming up, though. She further inflamed the narrative by claiming that Clark took an astronomical 40 shots per game, an assertion clearly designed to portray her as nothing more than a self-centered volume shooter, completely out for herself. But again, let's look at the facts. In reality, the record-breaking Clark averaged a very respectable 22, and here's where the whole situation becomes especially ironic, almost comically so. Swoops herself actually averaged 19.2 shots per game during her own senior year, which is a mere 3 shots fewer than Clark. Talk about throwing stones from a very fragile glass house, right? Then as Clark edged closer to smashing the all-time NCAA scoring record, Swoops, with a sudden change of tactics, implied that Clark would absolutely need a 5th year of eligibility just to break it.
Bring back Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
And to be perfectly clear, that claim was, once again, wholly untrue and utterly unfounded. When Clark made her highly anticipated jump into the WNBA, Swoops, with another bold prediction, declared that Clark simply wouldn't be able to dominate the league like she did in college. However, as Caitlin Clark quickly began not only breaking rookie assist records, but also firmly establishing herself as one of the league's premier playmakers and most unselfish distributors, Swoops conveniently chose to ignore the undeniable fact that the COVID eligibility rule would have in theory allowed Clark a fifth year. But it was Clark herself who consciously chose not to use it. The numbers, my friend, truly speak for themselves here. Clark didn't just meet expectations in her rookie campaign, she soared past them, averaging an impressive 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, effectively silencing all the doubters, and as expected, unequivocally winning Rookie of the Year.
I didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that.
Perhaps the most telling, and certainly most hypocritical, moment came during Swoops' appearance on Angel Reese's podcast. It was here that she absolutely persisted in disparaging Clark, openly criticizing her while simultaneously, and almost unbelievably, claiming that she harbored no animosity towards her. This was a classic, undeniable example of saying one thing directly to the camera while doing precisely the opposite, painting a very clear picture for anyone paying attention.
Cheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, you know, there was this quote by Cheryl.
The entire basketball world collectively started to notice and call out this incredibly troubling trend. There were finally consequences. Swoops was eventually, and quite rightly, barred from broadcasting an Indiana Fever game. She was then replaced by the legendary Nancy Lieberman, a woman who, refreshingly, wasn't afraid in the slightest to expose and challenge the constant stream of false and misleading information that was being disseminated about the league's burgeoning. A true titan of basketball finally walked into the All the Smoke podcast studio and, with pure fire, completely lit up the critics of Caitlin Clark. The basketball world collectively breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, someone with undeniable credibility and a deep understanding of the game had stepped into the often toxic Caitlin Clark conversation. What truly happens when a basketball legend, a woman who has actually coached Clark and knows her game inside and out, simply decides she's had more than enough of the nonsense and the negativity? You get, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most genuine, passionate, and deeply informed defenses we have ever witnessed in the history of women's basketball.
No, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes.
Yeah.
But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time.
And she made it clear, saying, sometimes, maybe more than you were right. This wasn't just a throwaway line. It was a profound declaration, a clear message to all the critics that their narratives were not only incorrect, but deeply misguided, hinting at a truth far greater than they were willing to admit.
I can't fault her for what she was getting.
You know, the truly painful reality, one that many simply refuse to face, is that Clark's detractors steadfastly refuse to acknowledge the undeniable truth. Her magnetic presence has unequivocally improved the league as a whole. And here's the kicker. That improvement, that surge in popularity and revenue, has directly impacted and increased their own salaries and opportunities. It's an uncomfortable truth they'd rather ignore.
You know, I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Now, here's where Cheryl Miller's perspective becomes absolutely invaluable. After actually coaching Clark in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller was granted a privileged front row seat. She wasn't just watching highlights. She was assessing Clark's game in its totality, beyond the flashy reels and the media narratives. And what she uncovered, what she genuinely observed, shocked even her. This intimate first-hand knowledge, this deeper understanding of Clark's true capabilities, is precisely what makes Miller's defense so incredibly potent and utterly unassailable.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star Game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my...
Miller didn't just offer platitudes. She went deeper, providing absolutely unique and insightful commentary into what truly makes Caitlin Clark such a one-of-a-kind talent. She brilliantly articulated, in a single powerful statement, what others had tried to obscure through months of endless media spin and manufactured controversy. She expressed her genuine relief, saying, "I was happy and gratified to learn that the story wasn't accurate. This wasn't just about statistics. It was about understanding the essence of Clark's game, something the critics consistently missed."
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised.
Mm-hmm.
And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the...
But Miller's incisive technical analysis of Clark's impressive abilities actually unveiled something far more profound and, dare I say, more important. A sincere, deep emotional connection. This bond developed organically during the absolute depths of Clark's most challenging and trying times, particularly when the Fever finally secured their first victory of the 20. In that crucial moment, Miller did far more than simply offer a polite congratulation. She extended her unconditional, unwavering support precisely when the overwhelmed rookie needed it the absolute most.
Watching her pass, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Following Indiana's hard-fought first victory, Miller and Clark shared an embrace that was undeniably more than just a fleeting, light-hearted exchange between fellow basketball players. It was a profoundly crucial, emotionally charged moment, one that vividly demonstrated just how isolated and truly alone Clark had felt during the relentless barrage of criticism and scrutiny that had surrounded her highly anticipated league debut. Miller, recalling the intense emotion of that raw encounter, shared the poignant details. "When she spotted me, I gave her the greatest hug I could possibly manage, and she just exclaimed, 'Oh man, finally someone who's on my side.' She was truly being struck with everything from left to right."
Who was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her. I said, "I'm so proud of you." I go, "Savor this. Use this as a formula." I said, "But keep being you." I said, "No matter what, keep being you."
In that incredibly precarious, emotionally vulnerable moment, Miller didn't offer empty, meaningless platitudes. Instead, she dispensed invaluable advice that could only come from someone who had personally traveled a very similar, arduous route in their own career. These weren't simply consoling words designed to make Clark feel momentarily better. They were a genuine lifeline, extended to a novice who at that point was quite literally drowning under the immense weight of overwhelming expectations and relentless scrutiny. Miller looked her directly in the eye and affirmed, "I'm very proud of you. Save her this, use this as a formula, but keep being you no matter what."
That is a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head, and I hope people understand that. But it's everything that she's dealing.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the entire basketball world, from casual fans to seasoned analysts, pays rapt attention, and for incredibly good reason. Her voice carries the undeniable weight and gravitas of an extraordinary unparalleled legacy, one that includes an incredible 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national championships, an Olympic gold medal, and of course a well-deserved spot in the prestigious Basketball Hall of Fame. However, Miller's staunch support for Clark extends far beyond just an appreciation for her already impressive resume. She sees something truly special in Clark that many critics, blinded by their own biases, consistently overlook: that extraordinary unparalleled court vision that truly makes her so much more than just an elite scorer. So tell us in the comments below, how thrilled are you to finally see Caitlin Clark getting the support she deserves? To ensure you never miss a single crucial update or fascinating insight, make sure you subscribe to our channel and enable all notifications. Now click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now, and we'll catch you in the next one.